The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Peace be unto you. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad. Welcome to Liberated Sisters. We're recording live right here at Morris Media Studios. In today's Liberated Sisters, we have righteous men ready to rule, reviving the spirit of the Million Man March. Our guest today is Pastor Willie F. Wilson of Union Temple Baptist Church. He's going to be enlightening us about an event coming up September 16th. I think it's the 15th or 16th, but we will have the flyer for you soon. That's going to be right in Washington, D.C. There's a little bit of controversy. You know, people are still trying to dog Minister Farrakhan and make trouble for him wherever he goes. And so someone had the audacity to say that he is not welcome into D.C. And to that, we say, get out of here. So we'll be coming up with Reverend Wilson, Pastor Wilson, pretty soon. Thank you for tuning in. Tell a friend. We want you all to hear this as, again, we revive the spirit of the Million Man March. And right now, however, let's have the Justice Report. Today's Justice Report is going to be brief, but it's going to be sweet, just like our own beloved sister, Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin. This week's Final Call newspaper cover, just like last week's, is so beautiful. Just look at her. Take a look at the Queen of Soul. It says, "Long live Queen Aretha Franklin," right? So this memorial service, this week of celebration of her life, was so fitting in Detroit. The Final Call newspaper was on the ground. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave as a gift to the city, the people of Detroit, 90,000 issues of the Final Call newspaper. Let's think about that. And when I say that, this is definitely a justice report because it's justice for the Queen. You know, she got flowers while she lived, and she certainly got them on the day of her homegoing celebration. 90,000 copies in a time where newspapers are folding, much less black newspapers. So who does this? Let's think of the heart of Minister Louis Farrakhan and his love for the sister. In the Justice Report, I just want to spotlight something that many people across the world, not just Muslims, were very disappointed, very sad. Some were outright livid that Minister Farrakhan did not have words and did not speak during the ceremony for her that was held, I think 6-7 hours. But as his national assistant, student minister Ismail Muhammad, aptly pointed out on this past Sunday, and you can view that at NOI.org, Minister Farrakhan did not go to speak. Minister Farrakhan asked Sister Aretha's family if he would be permitted to go as a mourner, to attend as a mourner. And he was not aware that he would be put on the dais, which is rightfully so. I'm just saying, you know, this is Minister Farrakhan, and it was a great place for him with the dignitaries. And so his presence spoke louder than words. If you looked at the tape, Minister Farrakhan enjoyed the artists who came to give their talent and share their gift with and about her. And he enjoyed the speakers, and he was just a very perfect example for us of how to act at home and abroad, if you would. But knowing his place and being comfortable and not seeking self-aggrandizement. This is the man of God who could do that. But you have lesser of us who do that. And we're just out of place. And so for me, Minister Farrakhan, thank you for forever being a shining example of how to live, be, and act. And I want to share something. I spoke to my mom yesterday. I called her. I said, Mommy, calling to check on you. How you doing? And she has the flu, right? So she's coughing and, sniffling. But the first thing she says to me after she says, I'm fine, baby, but I got a summer flu is, where's Farrakhan at? This is how my mom always talks to me about the minister. Where Minister Farrakhan at, right? How's he doing? I saw him up there at the funeral, and he looked so beautiful. I was so proud of him. So, let hearts not be troubled. Our people know and love the minister, and I just wanted to share that. That warms my heart from my own mother, because my coming into the nation was sort of rifty in my family, right? But she loves Minister Farrakhan, and she always says, tell Minister Farrakhan I said, Assalamu alaikum. So Minister Farrakhan, greetings to you from my mother. So that's the Justice Report. I want us to go to finalcall.com. Beautiful spread. Sister Starla Muhammad, our managing editor, Brother Richard Muhammad, our editor-in-chief, and many others have stories there about Sister Aretha Franklin, and you could see the detail of what happened from the Final Call distribution. Again, I'm not going to let it go. 90,000 issues at a time when newspapers are unfolding. Minister Farrakhan gifted that to the city, and I want to get one of them. I know they're gone, but looking at the cover that I have from the original print and from the reprint, it says gift copy. So that's one for the archives. This is the Liberated Sisters Justice Report, and we're going to get into Reverend Pastor Willie Wilson, but I think I want to hear a clip of, we'll wait on the clips. Let's bring in Pastor Wilson if we could. Okay, so we're going to keep rolling until we get him on. I do want to then, let's hear, since we're talking about righteous men ready to rule and reviving the spirit of the Million Man March, if we could hear the clip from Mustafa Farrakhan where he's introducing his father. We're just going to play that snippet for you all if we could, and stay tuned.
Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is his true servant. And I further bear witness that Minister Louis Farrakhan is his divine reminder in our midst. On behalf of my family, my mother's here, my wife at home, and my children, we have been the brunt of a whole lot of attacks. And those of you who know the plight of my father knows that whenever any black man is in trouble, he always comes to your aid. Never be ashamed to stand up and say that Farrakhan is a friend of the black man. And I challenge all of the leaders that when you are asked by your enemy and those who oppressed us, my father is not a bigot. He's not a racist. He is not an anti-Semite. And we have the history in our archive that will prove everything that I'm telling you. So, from the president on down to everybody who's under him, Farrakhan is in your midst today. You don't have to think about what he said or listen to anybody about what he said. Call him yourself and ask him what he said. I present to you the man that God has given this vision to. For without the vision, the people would perish. And I say to you, is here to speak to you. So listen to him very carefully. I bring to you my leader, my teacher, my guide, my father, your brother, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Let us receive him.
Farrakhan, did y'all hear them cheering Minister Farrakhan's name? I know I did. All praises due to Allah. Thank you so much, Brother Supreme Captain, Student Supreme Captain Mustafa Farrakhan, for that. That certainly revives memories for me. Let's bring in, to take us further into the conversation now, Pastor Willie F. Wilson, Minister Farrakhan's great beloved brother and friend, right out of Union Temple Baptist Church. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, my sister.
How are you doing, Pastor?
I'm doing great. You fired me up before I can get on there.
Look, I know, right? I said reviving the what? The spirit is not gone, not in many of us. But, for some, hey, I guess it does need to be revived. Pastor Wilson, your role in the Million Man March and through today is so invaluable, so priceless. I just want to say, as a follower of Minister Farrakhan, and I would like to call you Uncle, right, as your little sister. Thank you so much for everything that you do, you have done, you, your wife, your family, your congregation, not only for your parishioners, right, but for all of mankind, for all of us, and especially for being a brother to our Minister Farrakhan. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. It has been my delight, my joy, to work with Brother Minister Farrakhan for 41 years. He first came to Union Temple on February the 22nd, 1977. At that time, of course, he was just beginning to rebuild the nation, and the only person with him was his son Joshua, who operated a reel-to-reel tape recorder. And I started that day. By that time, my membership had grown from 25 members to about 800. When he got through speaking that day, I went from 800 to about 400.
Wow, talk about a multiplier, right?
right. And so it's been 41 great years working with him, and looking forward to this date in September when we once again we'll bring our people together from across the nation in this live broadcast that will go out to millions.
Oh, wow.
And we're just excited about it.
If we have the flyer, too, we have this Righteous Men Ready to Rule. Pastor, you're saying that's going to be live broadcast?
Yes, it is.
Oh, what a gift.
All over the nation. All over the nation.
What a gift. And so, this is Sunday, September 16th, Union Temple Baptist Church. And our senior pastor there, also Executive Pastor Emeritus, Reverend Anika Wilson Brown, is pastor. This is Men's Day. Men's Day. And now, this is, how many of these have we had so far? How many of the Men's Days have we had? Because this is an annual, or this is...
Well, it's been every year since I've been there, and I've been there for 46 years.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations.
So it's been going on. And, of course, we know that many of us, the spirit that was so great and so powerful on October 16, 1995 has lived in so many of us.
Yeah.
But we want to reinvigorate that spirit to the masses of our people at a most crucial time in our history in America. You know, Dr. Frances Welding said it so eruditely so many years ago when she talked about the oppressor's fear of genetic annihilation.
Come on.
And what with the fact that in 16 years the majority population in America will be people of color unless the oppressor does something to stop it. And thus you see the great panic and
Yeah.
the great fear
Yeah.
that's gripping the oppressor right now. He's just trying everything,
Yeah.
but physically killing us, to psychologically, mentally, spiritually, every kind of way
Yeah.
he can
Yeah.
to prevent the inevitable from happening.
Yeah.
And so it is more important than ever that righteous men created in the image of the originator of this universe will stand up and fight and mobilize ourselves in unity to make a difference for the survival and the uplift and the development of our communities and of our people.
Yes, come on, Pastor Wilson. That's exactly right. And we can have not just a glimpse of heaven, right? So with
right.
what you all did, the minister's call, the work, his work, the nation's work, and those with him like you, that showed what could be every day. We don't have to just have that at the march or at each anniversary, which we're coming up on the anniversary of the Million Man March this October, but we can have that every day. And he said then, to make our communities a safe and decent place to live. And then he said it at 10-10-15, justice or else. Now, I do want to talk about something that I got wind of, and I want you to go into it. At first, I wasn't going to give it energy, but it's part of what's been happening to the minister, and we're going to make sure that this stops happening. But I understand, and you tell us what the actual facts are, right, Pastor Wilson? But I understand that there is a city council person there, from what I read in news reports, that when word about this broke, the Righteous Men Ready to Rule annual ceremony broke, that there's a council person there that has the audacity to say that Minister Farrakhan is not welcome into D.C. Is this real? Is this live? Is this Memorex? What's happening with that?
Well, actually, it started when our council person from the ward in which the church is located made a donation to Savior's Day, and of course,
the little brother, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
When they uncovered that, they called him to repent, and he was talking about his not being able to be a council person, and then they went from that to the nation is racist, so on and so forth, and that the minister, this particular council person, introduced the idea that the minister should be denounced and outlawed from coming into the city. Of course, the council did not cooperate and pass that resolution, but she did say it, and also went on to say that Union Temple was his headquarters in Washington, D.C. Of course, at that time, I called Brother Minister, and I said, look, you've got to come now. We cannot allow these people to tell us who can speak to and for us.
Wow.
Of course, he immediately consented. After that, I began to have this vision of a program that would revitalize, reinvigorate among the masses of our people the spirit that existed during the Million Man March. Dr. Maulana Karinga introduced a phrase that became our mantra in 1995 called Operational Unity.
That's right.
Which enabled us to bring together leaders of all the religious denominations, professionals, social organizations, fraternities, sororities, and some notable great black women who without whom we could not have had the Million Man March. Dr. Dorothy Height, Maya Angelou, Rosa Parks, all of whom spoke at the Million Man March. So my vision was, if we could on this particular day not only say to those detractors and say, Brother Minister cannot come to the nation's capital, that was the initial thrust, but then I said, well, we can use this to, among the masses of our people, reinvigorate the spirit that existed in October 1995.
Yeah.
And so in many ways we are replicating much of what took place on that year. First, on that program, we're going to, of course, have Mark Thompson of Sirius Radio, who was one of the MCs in 1995. So he's going to MC this program. Reverend Ben Chavez is going to speak to the spirit of the Million Man March. Attorney Faye Williams, who was our national LOC coordinator, she's going to recognize, as we show those ancestor women, Rosa Parks and Maya Angelou, and Dr. Height on screen,
yes,
as she again also speaks to other living black women who supported and made this event so powerful and so successful in October.
yes.
We're also going to have, the banner, the original banner that was stretched across the Capitol.
Yes.
After all the men left, two sisters from Union Temple came and they took that banner down, folded it up, and kept it all these years, just until last year they brought it to me and said, Pastor Wilson, this is the banner. We took it down that day. So we're going to unfurl that banner symbolically. And as it's unfurled, it's going to be unfurled by men of various professions and persuasions, religiously, in area fields of endeavor, to dramatize the operational unity, the collective effort that was exhibited that day, and to instill, as you know, many of our people were not even born when we did that in 1995. They will get a chance to see and experience not only those who are present. We are filling up the sanctuary. We are blocking off the street. We're going to have sound and screen outside, and of course the millions prayerfully who will be watching live. We want to share with them that spirit so that they can be reinvigorated on that day. Reverend William Barber of the Poor People's Campaign, he's not going to be there, but he's going to do a video which we're going to play, which will make that same call for our people to come together. As you know, at the Aretha Franklin's funeral, he spoke, and at the end of his words, he said, if Aretha could bring all of these leaders together, then we ought to be able to come together on our own and organize for the liberation of our people. So he couldn't be there because he's going to be in Atlanta, but he is sending a video. And then Melanie Campbell, who is the head of the voter registration project, along with Cora Masters Barry, who's the wife of Marion Barry. They're going to announce the launch of a national voter registration effort to get our people not to just be whores with our vote and give it up for nothing, but to be prostitutes, where we at least get something for it in a quid pro quo situation. So they're going to make that appeal, and we're going to have to make it easy for our people. Reverend Dr. Barbara Skinner, who worked so closely with me in 1995, has developed a packet for pastors where even if their people can't get to the polls, we're going to have absentee ballots right on site where people can register, because we have the brother down there in Florida who's running for Congress, and then the sister in Georgia, and then right in D.C. we have a sister that we want to replace that council person that's calling for the council to denounce the minister.
That's right.
So all of this is going to be taking place on that day, and there will be finally a special tribute to Brother Minister for his 60-plus years of fighting for the uplift and liberation of the masses of people of color all over this globe. I wish I could share with you what it is going to be, but I'm telling you,
tell me.
When the people see it, when it unfolds, it's something like you've never seen before. The special honor of tribute that we're doing for Brother Minister Farrakhan, who is so deserving of all of our honor, for all that he has done for our people. And it's going to just be a great, 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 great day.
I'm fired up right now here, and I can't wait to view the webcast. And thank you for sharing that, and also for what you're saying about the tribute to Minister Farrakhan. You know, you remind me of what Brother Mustafa was saying in his introduction of his father at the Million Man March, you know. And many people, as you said, and you said rightly so, that there's a whole generation, many people that have not heard of him. They don't know his works. And if you just go by what people say of our beloved brother minister, they have an absolutely incorrect picture of him. So I'm happy to hear that he's going to be honored that day. Yes, well deserving. I want to talk now a little bit for a few minutes, and then we'll hear a little bit from Minister Farrakhan at the march. But let's talk about how the Million Man March has impacted you and affected you personally, Pastor Wilson.
Well, as I have observed, even among the men at Union Temple and across the District of Columbia, many of our returning citizens, they came back home, they got involved, they organized themselves, they recommitted themselves to their families. Many of them started businesses of their own that are still operating to this day.
Wow.
Of course, many brothers reunited with their families and fathering their children. So the impact was monumental, not to even mention the impact of the voting registration campaign that we conducted. So on that day, we just want to replicate that spirit because it still lives in many of us, but we want it to live in millions of us.
That's right.
And make this a day that we really come together. And of course, there are other efforts beyond that day, but this is the beginning point. And we want to as well show those detractors who say he cannot come to the nation's capital. That's why we are blocking off the street.
Come on.
So that the thousands that can't get in the building will be able to be outside and hear and see on the screen, and let them look at that and say, let them see this is how much we love the minister. One of the things that happened at Aretha Franklin's funeral, one of the choir directors who directed the choir, Ricky Dillard, one of the outstanding choir directors and musicians in the country, he put a post on Facebook after Aretha's funeral. He said, after this, and then he shows a clip of Minister Farrakhan encouraging him, and he said, he has influenced my life all my life. I love him, and he spoke into my life. And of course, that was so inspiring for the people. Even in his silence, that's the kind of impact that he had and has on people. I talked to Ricky. I know him. I've known him for many years. Doing concerts in D.C. and all across the country. I told him, I encouraged him in his effort. He said, well, I hear that he's going to be at Union Temple on the 16th. I said, that's correct. He said, well, can I come? I want to come, and I want to bring my manager because I just want to be in the house. I said, brother, you got it.
That's right.
So he's going to come, and there'll be people, that's Congressional Black Caucus Week. So many from across the country will be in the city, and many of them will be coming. It's going to be, we're going to show these people how much we love the minister and that no one can tell us who can speak to us and for us. I want people to be lying down the street, around the corner, in the next block, as far as the eye can see.
That's
right.
right.
Let these people know how much we love our brother, and we're not going to let anybody dictate to us when and how and where he can speak to and for us.
Yeah, at D.C., come on, look, he pretty much took the city in 95. You want him to take it again?
Take it again. Take it again.
And there's no coincidence. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, that's CBC week, so this is timely. God is always moving and guiding things. It's beautiful to see him work. Pastor Wilson, I want to share some thoughts from people that are tuning in on Facebook Live. Thank you all. Also those who are viewing at Morris Media Studios. And then I want to hear a little bit from Minister Farrakhan straight from the march, okay?
All right.
So some comments for you. Kevin Muhammad says, thanks, Pastor Wilson, for being a faithful friend of the Nation of Islam and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Thank you for tuning in, Brother Kevin. Bring someone to the show with you next time. Sister Beachy X. Keaton, my beloved sister. Love you, Sister Beachy. September 16, 2018, Righteous Men Conference. Cephas, Uncle Bobby X will be there, inshallah. I truly believe the brothers are going to work it out. Pastor Wilson, now this Sister Beachy X Keaton on Facebook is Sister Beatrice X. Her husband, Cephas Uncle Bobby X, is the aunt and uncle of Oscar Grant III. And yes, and they have been on the battlefield with their Love Not Blood campaign, and with his sister, Miss Wanda Johnson, Oscar's mother, of the Oscar Grant Foundation, making sure that people remember we are Oscar Grant. They help families across the country, actually the world, because they've been to London as well, fighting for families of victims of loved ones killed, particularly by police violence, but also all violence. And so she sent that message, and so I wanted to share some of that. I'll come back a little bit later with some more comments for you.
Yes.
Yeah, but let's hear from Minister Farrakhan straight from the march.
All right.
Take this pledge with me. Say with me, please. I say your name. Pledge that from this day forward, I will strive to love my brother as I love myself. I say your name. From this day forward, will strive to improve myself spiritually, morally, mentally, socially, politically, and economically, for the benefit of myself, my family, and my people. I say your name. Pledge that I will strive to build business, build houses, build hospitals, build factories, and enter into international trade for the good of myself, my family, and my people. I say your name. Pledge that from this day forward, I will never raise my hand with a knife or a gun to beat, cut, or shoot any member of my family or any human being except in self-defense. I say your name. Pledge from this day forward, I will never abuse my wife by striking her, disrespecting her, for she is the mother of my children and the producer of my future. I say your name. Pledge that from this day forward, I will never engage in the abuse of children, little boys or little girls, for sexual gratification. But I will let them grow in peace to be strong men and women for the future of our people. I say your name. Will never again use the B word to describe any female, but particularly my own black sister. I say your name. Pledge from this day forward that I will not poison my body with drugs or that which is destructive to my health and my well-being. I say your name. Pledge from this day forward, I will support black newspapers television. I will support black artists who clean up their acts to show respect for themselves and respect for their people and respect for the ears of the human family. I, say your name, will do all of this. So help me God.
Wow, Pastor Wilson.
Yes, that's it.
I had to play.
I was thinking as he was leading that pledge, I was thinking about all the young brothers who were shedding each other's blood needlessly in the streets, who were not even alive for them. And that's a vision that I have, that many of them, by the hundreds of thousands, will hear and be a part of the broadcast and all present on that day.
Yeah.
To just be a part of making that pledge. Brother Minister Ishmael Muhammad is going to be there. He's going to lead that pledge. Once again, all the brothers there and all across the country. So prayerfully it will have a great impact on many of our young brothers who will put down their guns and take up the spirit of the Million Man March.
Yeah. Oh, wow. This is going to be fantastic. That gave me chills just watching and hearing it again and seeing the passion with which the men were taking the pledge. I want to take a moment to say, just express some gratitude to Allah for some people. One, Student Minister Tony Muhammad here, Reverend Alfredi Johnson, and many, many others, motorcycle clubs, gang interventionists, street interventionists, car riders. They have created the Peace Rides. Brother Tony spearheads the Peace Rides, where they go about throughout the community spreading peace. They spread the Million Man March Pledge, Pastor Wilson, and they also spread the Scientology Way to Happiness booklet. And those two things many people have never heard about, and so that's one way that the pledge is getting out. And also Mother Tainetta Muhammad, wife of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who created a manual for the sisters, because remember, there was a big thing, what are the sisters to do? And the minister laid out, he outlined what the women and children were to do at home, right? Prayer, fasting, teaching them about what was happening. Of course, we had the uproar from many who didn't understand on the outside, that tried to throw at it. Why are the men getting together? Why are the women excluded? Blah, blah, blah. Who didn't understand. But also, there was someone else, and the name is escaping me right now. Oh, my God. Sister Frederica Bay and the Women of Wisdom, women in support of the Million Man March. So there's so many components to this. You already mentioned many of our matriarchs, Dr. Dorothy Height and Maya Angelou. It's just so much went on that day. I remember I worked in a law firm, and I was listening to it on the radio here at KGLH, Brother Stevie Wonder Station, 102.3 FM. And I said, I want to see it. So I just walked off the job. I wasn't in the nation. And I do say rebelliously, I'm just going to be real and admit it, that I always say, look, I always ask the sisters, y'all really didn't go? I would have found a way. Pastor William, I would have found a way to be working there. I would have been at that march. But that's that rebellious side to me, right? But I just walked off and I went home, and I stayed not home. I went to my friend's house and we watched it the rest of the day. And then in that December is when I went to Mosque 27 on Centinela and stood up to become a member of the nation. Best thing I ever did in my life.
Yeah. Oh, great. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I wanted to play that pledge and share it, because we need that. We need that. And so many have kept that. Have kept that promise. Talk about just give me some more of your reflections of that time, that day, and how it'll be brought up to the modern time here in September.
Well, the spirit was so overwhelming. Like at 4 o'clock that morning, I was in my hotel room putting the final touches on the program for that day, and the brothers came and knocked on my door at 4 a.m. to tell me that already there were over 300,000 black men on the mall. My hand, I was writing and my hand started quivering. I was so excited, that at that hour of the morning, already 300,000 were out there, and the numbers began to swell. Let me share this as well.
Yeah.
You know, September the 16th will be the anniversary of the homegoing celebration for Baba Dick Gregory.
Oh, wow.
And so on that day, not only will we show a video clip of Marion Barry, who opened the doors of this city.
That's right.
To make it possible, but we will also show a clip of Dick Gregory speaking, and his daughter Ayana will give a special song to all of the deceased brothers who were there in 1995 who were no longer with us. So it's just going to be, everywhere you turn, it's going to be a powerful, powerful day.
I need to come. I'm coming. I need to come to D.C. Webcast nothing. What webcast? I need to come out there. That's going to be real powerful. Yeah.
Yes,
where are they now would be good. I would love to see where are they now, and interviews with people who were at the first march, as I heard Minister Farrakhan say, fathers and sons who hadn't spoken to each other, seen each other, met up at the march,
That's right.
So many different stories. Someone is asking, or mentioning on Facebook, remember the singer who sang "To God Be the Glory." Was that Vicki Winans? I don't want to get
at the Readman March, you mean?
Yeah. People are remembering.
I know. I can't recall his name.
Yeah.
I do remember him, but I can't recall his name.
Yeah. I'm not getting it right. Pastor Wilson, we have because as you know, you well know, right? You're right there with the minister. He took a lot of heat unjustly for some things that happened at the march. People wanted to know what happened to the money. I still get that question. I have to say I apologize to some people for my reaction to that question lately, because I'm like, come on, it's 2018. Go online and look at the accounting, right? I could have responded better to you, but you really didn't come in a not so nice way, so you brought that out of me. But I should have responded better. I would like to say that there's an accounting of every dime that was spent at the Million Man March online still. The minister is the first and the only to date that has done that, because people were worried about that frivolous thing. We've been taught to be so untrusting, right, Pastor Wilson?
And the people who really always raise those kind of questions are the people that don't support anything financially. They always have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
They have to. They don't even understand the hundreds of thousands of dollars that it cost to put that event on.
Yeah.
Just the jumbotrons and and all that alone was almost $1 million.
Yeah.
Not to mention other expenses along the way. So it took an awful lot of money to put that event on. And from what I know, the minister even had to go in his own pocket to finance some of what took place on that day. So
he always does.
We just move beyond the naysayers, because you always have them. And just continue to do the work that Almighty God Allah has called us to do.
Yeah, and He always does. Talk about that heart of the man, but we'll get to the point very quickly, Minister Farrakhan, where you won't have to do that. We'll be able to do for ourselves and for you, and thank you so much as we speak about the matriarchs, Mother Khadijah Farrakhan, oh Allah, by his side all these many years. So we love you, Mother Khadijah. I would like to play Reverend Wilson. I keep saying Reverend Wilson because I always call you Reverend Wilson, but he's senior pastor, Pastor Wilson. Some words of Minister Farrakhan, just addressing some detractors, but also this is something that fired me up, and was like, yeah, that's right, Minister. So I wanted to share it with the viewers today. It's about maybe 9-10 minutes long, but we'll come right back to you, okay? All right. Minister Farrakhan, Liberated Sisters.
I'm not a hater.
No, sir.
I just don't like what some of you are doing.
Yes, sir.
Let me give you an example. These hip-hop artists.
Yes, sir.
They started off good.
Right.
Conscious rap.
Right.
like conscious gospel, conscious poetry, conscious plays. But then something went wrong. The glorification of the gun killed the pig. How you going to say that about killing police and don't think for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction? We were losing it big time. See? And I saw what was coming. So when the Million Man March took place, they had tanks underground. See, the government knew exactly who was there because they had us on the government satellite. The park department don't run no satellite, but they knew it was more than 400,000. They couldn't bear to say that it was the largest gathering in the history of America, the most peaceful of any gathering. Nobody got arrested in the park. The mall was cleaner than at any other time in any other gathering, because I had gone throughout the nation telling the brothers, don't bring no weapons up in there, because if you come right, God will show you that his spirit is more powerful than your weapon. See, I'm following scripture now, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit. And I knew if they came right on a Monday, gave up their jobs, gave up their school, went in their homes, those that stayed home and tried to reconcile differences. See, Jesus paid it all right. But what did he pay? He paid the price to open the way for all humanity to reclaim our original position with God. But if he paid for your sins, then you feel, well, what the hell? He paid for mine. I just keep on doing this thing. But if the same Jesus that paid, is seen in the revelation coming again. But he ain't coming to teach. Said he had a sword in his hand. And the sword was dripping with blood. And he came at the head of 10,000 angels. And he warned us about a judgment. See, if he paid it all, there's no need for a judgment. But we're living in the judgment of men and nations. On that one day, the press came. Bless your heart. Yes, sir. They got their positions. The niggas is going to explode today, you know. You know how they are. They're cut-ups. These men don't like each other. Let's get a good position to catch the slaughter. Tanks was underground, soldiers, everybody ready. President Clinton, I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go right now. Close down the Congress. Close down the Supreme Court. Close down city government. Get out of town. Because the niggas is going to act up and we got something for them. And here was the press. From early morning, 5 o'clock, when the prayer was called, they were there. And they saw the brothers coming. Philadelphia in the hood, in the house. New York in the house. Atlanta in the house. Savannah in the house. Mississippi in the house. They were coming from everywhere. Fathers that hadn't seen their sons and sons that hadn't seen their fathers saw them that day. Bishop Brookins and Jesse Jackson came up in my room. And the bishop said, "What you gonna do with the money?" Well, that's a legitimate question. But they didn't ask that for the march in 63 or 83. Ain't nobody giving no report on nothing. But I promised I'll have an auditing firm audit everything, and I'll give a report on every dollar.
It's on the internet.
Did I do it?
Yes, sir. And it's on the internet right now.
My word is my bond. You are not going to punk me. I live for integrity. And if I tell you that I never called Judaism a gutter religion, take it to the bank, because I ain't afraid of a damn one of you. If I said it, I'll stand up and say, yeah, I said it. What the hell are you going to do about it? But I never said it.
Say what you want to say. Go ahead.
And for 21 years, you can't even write about me. If I do something good, yes, but he's the man they call Judaism a gutter religion. I never mentioned the name Judaism, but here's what I said, and I stand on what I said. I said that state called Israel has not had any peace at the time in 40 years. And she will not have any peace. It's 50-some years later. Still ain't got no peace. I said she can't have peace where there's lying and stealing and murder and using God's name as a shield for your dirty religion. Your religion ain't what you profess. Your religion is your practice. You can't call me telling me you for Jesus and hang me the next day and I can't get justice. You practicing a dirty religion. You call yourself a jihadist, strap a bomb on yourself and walk in among innocent people and set it off. You're practicing a dirty religion. And whether you're a Jew, a Christian, or a Muslim, all of us have fallen short of the glory of God. And we use religion to protect our behinds from the crap that we do in the name of Abraham, Moses, Jesus, the prophets, and Muhammad. But you can't use Jesus to cover your behind today. You say he's coming back. I know he's coming back. But will he receive us on his return? I said to the church in Los Angeles the other day, I said, you're the bride, but you've been whoring. I'm in love with you.
That's it. That's
I'm not speaking out of hate.
That's right.
I want us to come clean. I want us to correct ourselves. I got some dirt on me, but I got to wash. He said, wash and be clean. I mean, all of us got to wash. When the book said, if we washed in the blood of the Lamb, our garment would come clean and it would be white as snow. But how you going to be the bride of Christ? The bridegroom coming and you whoring. You in bed with the rulers of the world. You can't say, thus saith the Lord, because you're getting a buttered biscuit and a piece of fried chicken at the back door of your master. You whoring. And the garment of the church is dirty. You say you a Muslim? The garment of the mosque is dirty. You say you a Jew? The garment of the synagogue is
Hey, Reverend Wilson, Pastor Wilson, are you there? Pastor Wilson, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
There you go, sir. Thank you for allowing me that. I just had to share that. Would you give your sentiments on that and give us a closing remark? We're going to be out in the next 3 minutes.
Well,
wow.
You know, the fire of his delivery is what motivates so many. Mm-hmm. And I am just so prayerful that on September the 16th, that by the millions, people will tune in. If they can't be physically present in Washington, D.C., that they will tune in as we work and mobilize to revive among the masses of our people the spirit that so prevailed on October the 16th, 1995, and come out of that with new energy, new determination, and new willingness to work together in unity to change and transform the condition of the masses of our people. And that's my prayer. I know that not only is my prayer, but that's my lifelong work. That's the work of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I am just so prayerful that a contagion will grip our people of that spirit that was engendered in 1995, so that we can be about the business of cleaning up our communities and doing for self and building a nation that will transform the lives of all of our people, not only in America, but wherever our people are who are being oppressed and dominated by the oppressor.
Yes, sir. Pastor Wilson, thank you so much for being with us. I enjoyed your spirit. I enjoyed being able to speak to you again. And once again, on behalf of us here at Liberated Sisters, thank you for all that you do for us. And I can't wait until the event. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, sister. And thank you so much for having me today.
Indeed. Wow, I got a little misty, you all, hearing the minister. I mean, you know, we just don't know what we have in our midst. I'm speaking to myself first and foremost, because I know if I did, I would have a quickening spirit to do more, be more, and give more. And so a recommitment right here again on Liberated Sisters as we talk about righteous men ready to rule and reviving the spirit of the Million Man March. Spread the word about the event. Tune in. If you can go. I would like to say again, thank you, Senior Pastor Willie F. Wilson of Union Temple Baptist Church. Thank you, Sister Sharita X. She helped out of D.C. with Sister Brenda Muhammad to produce this, get this information to me. A tremendous thank you to Sister Felicia, the Poetess Morris, and Morris Media Studios. We're standing here in a great foundation, you all. If you don't know it, you need to know. May Allah be pleased with you. Rest in peace, Brother Johnny Morris. Thank you so much for your daughter. Also, remember finalcall.com for Long Live the Queen, Aretha Franklin, our coverage of her homegoing services. While there, please subscribe to our... Oh, look at that beautiful cover. Lord have mercy. She's so gorgeous. Subscribe to our digital edition and also go to lctwmusic.com to order Minister Farrakhan's 44-song box set, Let's Change the World. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad saying if it's impacting our community or can uplift us as a people, let's talk about it. Peace.